Hi everyone. So now, as we have seen in the last video, we have seen about the three different states of matter: the solid, the liquid, and gas. Now we'll see about how the change of state occurs. That is, how does a matter in one state, might be from a solid state, is changed into another, like a liquid state, or from a liquid state it is being changed into gas, or from a gaseous state to the liquid state, or gaseous state to a solid state. We'll see that in detail how actually the change of state happens. So whenever you take a matter, it is made up of molecules. So for the change of state to occur, it always involves energy. So energy must be either gained or lost. That is, whenever you take the matter, the gaseous state will have the maximum amount of energy level within the molecules, and similarly then the next will be the liquid state, and finally the less amount of energy that is being processed by the matter in the solid state. So whenever there is a change in state, either energy will be absorbed or it will be given out. That is how the change of matter occurs. So when you take for example, when you take a chocolate, it is in the solid state. So when you leave it outside in a hot sun, what happens is it melts after some time. So it will become like a liquid after some time, semi-solid like. So what happens there? So the chocolate, which is in the solid state, when exposed to the sunlight, so from the sun we get the energy, the solar energy that has been absorbed, that gives the heat. So the energy in the form of heat is required for the solid chocolate to be converted into the liquid state. Similarly, when you take the ice, when it is ice cubes and leave it in the room temperature, in the freezer, when it is inside the fridge or inside the freezer, the temperature is very, very low. And when it is brought to a room temperature around 27 or 28 degree, what happens is the heat is being absorbed by the ice and it is getting converted to water. So there occurs a change in the state of matter, that is from solid state to a liquid state. So energy is being absorbed, and that process, the process by which the solid is converted into the liquid state, you call it as melting. So melting occurs in the presence of heat. Similarly, when you take water and heat it on a stove, that is it starts heating up and finally it starts evaporating, and vapors come out from the water in the form of steam. So here what happens is the liquid state, water is in the liquid state, it is getting converted to the next state, that is the solid state. So there also energy is absorbed in the form of heat. The heat that we are supplying is taken up by the water. So the energy level of the molecules become more, and the molecules start vibrating to a larger extent. That is why they are converted into a gaseous state, that is the steam. So here, when the liquid is changed into a gaseous state, you call it as evaporation. This is what happens in the that is in the sea or any water body that is exposed to the sunlight. When it is heated up, evaporation takes place superficially and it attains there, and the clouds are formed. This is one of the processes that takes place in the rain formation, the first process that happens there. And similarly, when you take solid state can be converted into liquid by means of melting, and similarly liquid can be converted into gaseous state by means of evaporation. So these are all the physical changes that are happening in the matter. So it will affect only the physical properties of these matter. So the chemical nature remains the same. For example, when you take ice, ice is also made up of water molecule. Water is also made up of water molecule. Steam as well is also made up of water molecule. So the chemical nature of the substance does not change, only the physical nature, its state changes. So change of state is a physical change. Similarly, from a gaseous state, when it is cooled, when the steam is being cooled, you can see droplets of water sticking onto the lid if you close the boiling water. So what happens is, when the water is boiling there, the amount of heat is more. But when it comes to the surface and sticks on the lid, the temperature becomes lesser and it gets reverted back to the liquid state. Again, when you take this water and put it in the freezer, what happens is the molecule loses the energy level and it attains to a lower energy level and it becomes a solid. So when steam is converted to water, it is called as condensation. And similarly, when water is getting converted into a solid, that is the ice, you call it as the process is called as a freezing. So we reduce the temperature. The temperature is getting reduced. So what happens? From a higher energy level, the molecules come to a lower energy level. So there is a change in the energy levels of the molecules, thereby causing the changes in the state of matter. So energy is required. So one form of matter can be converted into other form either by gaining energy or by losing energy. This we call it as a change of state. So change of state is finally nothing but a physical change. It does not affect the chemical nature of the matter. Thank you.